Okay, good to see you guys here. Day two, we're stacking. We're stacking football, we're stacking media days, right? So appreciate everybody being out. Just had an experience over there along the stands with a young lady named Abby. She's 5 years old and she's visiting, and she's battling her fight with her mom and her grandma, who are here today also. So just want to thank her for coming and just let her know and all of her friends know she's a superstar. She's a superstar, and we love having her here. And she's one of us. She's a Raven. So had a great practice today. In terms of being the second day, we've got a lot of work to do, a lot to work on, but we're chipping away. I felt like we stacked a practice on top of a good practice. So now we'll get to work as far as the rest of the day with weightlifting and meetings and our ACT practice and everything that we're doing. So, okay, what questions do you have?
John, I saw with the wide receivers breaking out soccer balls. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see it.
Any kind of do you think maybe take a look at Ted Lasso kind of slant?
I love that show, by the way. I see it's season 2's out, right? Haven't seen anything yet. Have you guys seen it at all? Okay, it's good. Okay, I can't wait to see it. I think it has to do with a little bit what Mike was talking about yesterday with hand placement in terms of catching and eyes and finishing catches, and it's just a little different, than a football. So when you get those guys up here, when T gets up here, and Keith, they can explain the particulars, but it's a pretty cool drill.
John, we saw J.K. Dobbins do so many good things last year. Now, going into year two, and we talked about the full off season for the guys that were drafted this year and the rookies, of course. What kind of growth are you looking to see from him, and what we can assume, probably a little more of an expanded role even from what he had last year?
Well, sure. I mean, you want to see growth, and even the practices he's having now are practices that those guys didn't have. So they didn't have the off season, but they also didn't have the first 2 weeks of training camp. So there's still new days. Every day's still a new day for those guys. So it'll be fun to see what happens. I really obviously have high expectations. I told him the bar set high, so we'll see what he does with it.
John, I saw Marquise leave early for practice. Any updates?
Yeah, I mean, not serious. Probably more precautionary than anything in terms of just making sure the muscle health continues to be there early in camp, and just build them up to the reps we want to get them to. So I would say it's precautionary in nature. Marcus Peters had a toe issue, like a toenail issue that had to get corrected. So anybody who's had that knows that's not fun, but that probably is a one-day deal too.
James Prochet is, obviously in the middle of a tight competition. He made some plays out there today. What stood out to you about what you saw from James?
That's what he does. I mean, he just does everything right. He's a serious competitor. We were in the weight room this morning, and he was in there with us. Some of the coaches getting there early, and he was right there with a lot of other guys. So he works all the time, and he works within the play too, and he finishes every play, and you saw that today. So.
With Lamar out, this has been a pretty big opportunity for Trace McSorley and Tyler Huntley to try and get some extra reps and compete out there. What have you seen from those two thus far?
I think they've taken advantage of those reps. They've practiced really well. There's nothing like being out there 4 reps and 4 reps with the ones, for a quarterback. So, again, they're the quarterbacks we're playing with. They're doing a good job. We'll see what they can make of it. It'll be fun to watch.
John, when you look at a veteran like Clarence King, maybe some veterans, coming into this many training camps, it seems like his energy level is still high out there. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, I don't notice it, probably because that's what you notice, because the fact that he's just like the young guys. He's no different. He's taller and he's bigger in some ways, and he's more experienced. But the energy level is the same as Justin or any of our guys. So yeah. I love our guys. We got a veteran D-line group. Derek Wolf's the same way. Jelly's the same way. They just get after it, and they love to play. We're not in pads yet, but there's not a lot of room up there right now to run the ball, so we'll see what happens when the pads come on, though.
Coach, this is the last time we'll talk to you before the stadium practice. Just thoughts about going back there and having an environment where there's going to be about as big of a crowd as you could expect for a practice.
Thanks, Gary. It's funny. It's one day at a time, and that's 2 days away. So I didn't think about it until you just asked the question. But now that I think about it, I can't wait, because it's such a great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for fans that are really football nerds to get in there and look at our team, up close and personal in a practice like that, because anybody can get in there. It's not like you have to get on the – it's like getting a seat on Southwest. You got to call right that second. That's how getting in here is like. So. But now everybody can go. But also, all the folks that don't have season tickets or don't have tickets or haven't been to games, and I tell a story one time 2 or 3 years ago. It was actually in 19. And I was driving around, towards Camden Yards there, and I saw Dad, and he had his 3 little kids, 2 boys and a girl, just little ones, They all had their Ravens T-shirt jerseys on, and he had them in his hands. I just felt like, man, look how happy he is and how excited they are, to be able to take his kids to M&T Bank Stadium and have a special day, and I honestly choked up about it, So to me, that's why we do this. This is what it really, in the end, is all about. It's about people. So it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
I assume there's no update with Lamar. It's still sat there, same as there was yesterday.
Right. Yeah. No updates. There's not going to be any updates. Those aren't things that we're really allowed to make. But it is what I hate it is what it is. I'm not going to say that, except in this case, it's pretty much what it is. I've heard that. I've heard that.
With practice, you go through film and you go through meetings and stuff, but the Ravens have discussed a lot about culture. How do you practice culture, and how do you talk about that in the building as a
We're going to need a 45-minute seminar where we can go back and forth on that. We could group interact on that one. It's a word that it's a word that gets used a lot. Work environment's another word that we use. What do we stand for? What do we believe in? What are we about? Who are we? Those are things we talk about. And in the end, we are who the individual pieces are. We're hopefully we're greater than the sum of our parts. But I do, and to your point, I think that we're about something, and I think it's very clear cut what we are and what we stand for. On the field and off, even as an organization. So hopefully you see it. Hopefully the question answers itself when you see it. So. All right, great, thanks. Okay, good seeing everybody.